This video is sponsored by Skillshare.
So, Apple just launched Apple Creator Studio, Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Pixelmator Pro, Keynote, in fact 9 apps all bundled together for $12.99 a month. By the end of this video, you'll know if Creator Studio is right for you, what the new features are, and whether this is something that is actually worth it for those who already own apps, are students, or are beginning to explore creative software for the first time. And Adobe have just raised the price of Creative Cloud to $69.99 a month. That's over 5 times the price difference, and honestly, it feels like Apple's making a pretty direct play for anyone building an intentional tech ecosystem, not paying for features they'll never use. So here's my situation. I already own Final Cut Pro, Pixelmator Pro, Pages, Keynote outright. I've spent hundreds of pounds on these over the years. So when Apple announces a subscription bundle of apps I already own, am I about to pay for software I've already bought? Or is there something new here that's actually worth it? So I got early access, and after testing the new features and digging into exactly what happens when you already own these as well, I've got some answers. Let me show you the 3 features that made me rethink the whole bundle first of all, starting with a couple of things that really pleasantly surprised me. So quick context, Creator Studio bundles Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Pixelmator Pro, plus Motion Compressor Main Stage and premium templates in Pages, Keynote and Numbers. They all got some fancy new logo designs, a bunch of new AI and template features, all for $12.99 a month or $2.99 a month for students. And then there's the yearly subscription, which would be $129.99 or $22.99. That's dollars and pounds. But you don't care about the app list. You just want to know if this is better than what we already have, right? So this is what made me think, okay, this is genuinely different. First, my go-to photo editing and graphic design app is Pixelmator Pro, and it's now fully on iPad. Not a watered down version that I had before, the actual professional image editor you find on Mac, redesigned for touch and Apple Pencil Pro. This is great to see. Now here's a quick example. Background removal, one tap, instant cutout. Done. And here's the feature that I really love, product mock-up templates. There are loads and loads of great assets and templates on here. I really like the collections. This collection here, I could easily use for my brand, and I may well do it, so that's cool. But what I'm most enjoying is mock-ups. Mock-ups are really, really helpful because they've done all of the mapping stuff for you. I used to buy these to put into Photoshop. Now they're all included. So for me as a product designer around things like, let's say, icon packs or PDFs, maybe later on we want to do more, this is a really great thing for artwork. The one I want to demo though has got to be this. Let's say that I was going to create myself a book or a free guide and I wanted to make it look good. This is a really nice moody magazine cover. There's lighting in there, so you've got all these kind of cover shadows, and what's really nice is I think that you can then select alternatives from these elements. So I could go, let's go for a plant shadow, or let's go for a spotlight, direct light, abstract shadows. This is really nice. I'm going to go for the spotlight view because it feels really moody, and we're going to replace the item, and there's a little replace button where I can click on the plus, replace from photos or files. I've got a little cover that I generated with Nano Banana for an agentic AI book, free guide that I'm going to share about your business. So I'm going to put that in, click replace. And what's really brilliant is it does it in a way that actually makes it look like a book, but not only that, it feels like it's mapped exactly to the shape. Now the problem is, this doesn't look right at the moment, so I want to get my colours correct. So I'm going to go up to the colour options in the top left. We can see colour monochrome, and then I could adjust these colours to match. So why don't we take this and just copy the orange. That's nice. That feels pretty good. And then the green, and there you go. I've got myself a really nice mock-up of my book that I can easily export. And what's really cool with Pixelmator is they've got these quick export options within there. I'm just going to do a quick web graphics PNG and export that into my downloads for later. How cool is that? I would never have made a mock-up like that in that time in any other way. In fact, I probably wouldn't have bothered at all. So I'm pretty impressed with how Apple are making these kind of creator tools that accessible. I used to download these for Photoshop and pay money for them. Now I've got a little bit more creative control and can do it myself at home. So maybe it's not for the pros, but for people like me, I can promote my products.
Cool.
So those are the first features that I think give a taste of what's going on in these new creator bundles. Now, in case you're wondering, if you already own the paid versions, you're going to get all of these updates anyway in the major pro apps. But there are some additional elements that come with this subscription that might make it more worth it, but we'll talk about those in a little bit, because having access to these tools is only half of the equation. Let's move on to Final Cut, and this is probably my unexpected favorite. You know how apps like CapCut or Opus Clip have been doing automatic edits for ages? Well, Apple basically brought this into the Final Cut Pro suite. So this montage maker system takes your footage, analyzes it, picks the best visual moments, and automatically cuts them to the beat, whatever music you drop in. And in Montage Maker on the iPad, if you want it shorter or longer, tap the speed option and it re-edits to fit. If you add more clips, it reworks the whole thing and matches the beat.
Right, I've been messing around with Final Cut Pro on this iPad for the first time for like 10 minutes, and it's amazing how quickly you can get things done. I imported a bunch of clips, I found some of the stock music that's available within the app and could really quickly get this thing edited. I've got a tiny little clip of me using a computer. If we just play it back, there I go. It's linked to the music, which is really clever. And to do that, all you need to do is select your music track and then turn on beat detection. And you should be able to see here, it gives me these little lines where I can cut and edit to. So if I want to, it means that I can move things around to reach to those points, and it kind of snaps to the point. And then really quickly, I'm able to play that back. I'm going to add my volume adjustment so we can hear the text a little better. And look at this.
These are my tech predictions for 2026 and why Apple are getting things right this year.
Really cool. Now, this has existed for a while on Final Cut Pro, but one of my favourite features on the iPad is to do live drawing. I can click on the little pencil option, select my tool, whatever I want to use, I'm pretty happy with that, and I can just write on the screen, and I can go tech predictions. And when I press play on this movie now, we should see that pop up.
So yeah, for quick social edits and teasers, this looks really useful. I think a lot of people will use it. And will I still spend 3 hours tweaking a 15-second clip? Probably, but at least now I'll have options. The next feature that I think really stands out in this new update is what might save me more time than anything else in the entire bundle. We've got advanced AI search now through your rushes, and this is brilliant for anyone who edits long-form content like me. Let's say I've recorded a 2-hour interview and I remember someone said something about creative burnout, but I don't know when. Normally, I'd scrub through the entire timeline listening to clips until I found it. Pain. Not anymore. With transcript search, I can just type creative burnout and Final Cut instantly shows me every moment with those words which were spoken. Click and I'm there. And then there's a visual search, even better, I think, for me, around finding clips of B-roll to insert. I can search my footage by what's actually in it. Need a shot of a computer, type computer, and Final Cut shows me everything with a computer in it, ranked by confidence for the best ones first. These aren't flashy AI gimmicks, I don't think. They're actually the kind of features you forget exist until you realize you just saved 20 minutes, and then you feel slightly smug about it. One other thing that I subscribe to alongside my Apple apps, and I've done it for years, is today's partner Skillshare. Because sure, you can have access to every creative app in this bundle, but if you don't actually know how to use them properly, you're just renting expensive software you'll never open. Skillshare has creative classes taught by world-class creatives, professional illustrators, renowned graphic designers, and successful entrepreneurs. It covers Final Cut Pro editing, Logic Pro music production, and Pixelmator and Procreate design with actual skills you can apply immediately. My personal favourite is improving my artistic skills in Procreate. There's an amazing drawing class on Skillshare that I found recently by Lisa Bardot to help you kickstart your creativity. She walks you through every step from basic brushwork to creating finished illustrations, and you can make a new drawing in 15 minutes with her and fit it into your day. The difference between having Procreate installed and actually knowing how to draw with it is night and day, trust me. And what I love about that is I can also import my drawings into Pixelmator Pro in the Creator Studio and integrate them into my design. And I also love the community area that is part of the classes on Skillshare. It's where users can share their projects and you can see what other people are doing, talk about the process. So whether you're rekindling your creative passion, fulfilling your personal curriculum, or just looking to expand your mind, Skillshare has the lessons, resources, and most importantly, the community to keep you engaged and motivated. So give Skillshare a try. I think you'll love it too. And the first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan the QR code that will pop up on the screen right now receive a 30-day free trial of Skillshare. So if you're investing $13 a month in creative tools, invest a little time in learning how to actually use them. Thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. So next, before we give a verdict on the Creator Studio and talk about who this is actually for and if you should subscribe, there are a few more things in this bundle you should know about, including one privacy detail that actually matters. I'll keep it quick. Logic Pro gets AI session players. I was blown away by this demo. Virtual musicians that follow your chord progressions and generate bass lines, synth layers, and drums. Plus Chord ID, which analyzes audio and shows you the chord progression instantly. Finally, an answer to what chord is that doesn't involve humming to Shazam and hoping for the best. That's a terrible joke. This genuinely is impressive. This isn't synthesized music. It's an AI algorithm that plays along with your music and helps you build tracks. Really, really cool. That classic suite of Pages, Keynote, and Numbers all get premium templates added to them that actually look like you hired a designer, or at minimum, someone who understands margins. And what I really liked is that in Keynote, you can just type in the slides that you'd like in your presentation, give it to Keynote, and it will create a rough draft following your written description. This is so helpful to get started. There's also a content hub with curated graphics. All of that combined with generating new slides with that text outline builds a full presentation with editable slides and presenters notes really quickly. I'm not going to go into all of the apps here like Motion and Compressor, but let's just say you're getting everything creative that Apple offers of meaning in this bundle. And the privacy bit, transcript search, visual search, and montage maker all run on device using Apple Intelligence. Your content stays private, never leaves your Mac or iPad, and is never used for training. If you handle client work, I think that really matters. But what I do like is using the iCloud sync. Whatever you're doing on one device naturally turns up on the other. That's been annoying for me in Pixelmator Pro for years. Now finally, I can just jump between Mac and iPad and work seamlessly. All right, now let's answer the actual question. Should you subscribe? Students and educators, at $2.99 a month, just get it. Adobe charges basically $20 a month for students, and that's the discounted rate. No-brainer. Beginners exploring creative work, instead of dropping $300 on Final Cut Pro up front or committing to Adobe's larger monthly fees, you can try everything for $12.99. So find your lane and cancel it if it doesn't stick. This is who Apple made it for. Multi-tool creators, video plus music plus design, if you're using 2 or more of these apps, I think $12.99 a month for the full bundle is actually useful compared to buying each one separately, and it might encourage you to do things like I'm doing, which is experimenting with making music or motion graphics. But it's worth knowing, if you own some of the full apps already, you're actually going to get pretty much all of the updates included in your current version. Apple confirmed that existing one-time purchase owners continue receiving all the new AI features, so visual search, montage maker, all of it. And this is really just an announcement to let you know a load of cool new features turned up in your apps. So what does the subscription actually add? Well, it adds 3 things. 1, iPad versions. If you want the full Pro version on iPad, you need the subscription now. That's a big one. 2, family sharing. Up to 6 people can use your subscription if you subscribe. So if there's a couple of you, that's really good value. And 3, premium content in Pages, Keynotes, and Numbers, templates, Content Hub, AI-generated features. They are all restricted to the subscription versions of that suite. If none of those apply, stick with your one-time purchase. You're not missing out. And as for you established Adobe users, let's be honest, you're probably not switching, are you? I mean, your workflows are built around Premiere, After Effects, Photoshop, and that's fine. Apple didn't call it Professional Studio. They called it Creator Studio. And I think that positioning is intentional. Now, I don't think Apple are aiming this Creator Studio at those pros. It's aimed at the next generation of creators who haven't chosen their tools yet. Everyone else weighing up your options, well, look, you get a 3-month trial, give it a go, see what you like, and work it out from there. As for me, I'm really happy to get Pixelmator fully on the iPad and be able to transition between the two, and those Final Cut features I already own are going to be really great. I'll definitely be diving more in depth into some of these apps in the future, and if you want to build a creator workflow that actually works, check out my video on building a productivity system that works up here, or this one for how to get your Apple ecosystem in check. Subscribe by hitting my face below if you haven't, drop a comment and let me know what you make of all this, and I'll see you later.